All right, people of God, this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Well, even though it's a rainy day in Nashville, Tennessee, it's just things, just thoughts on today. Thoughts. Uh, you know how you just be thinking about stuff and just pure randomness, and then you get excited about your life and you're looking forward to what God is gonna do in your life, and you make preparations to be in that place uh, where God would have for you to be. The Bible speaks about that your gift will make room for you and put you before kings and great men. But you know what? A lot of people look at their gifts and talents, and they think that that's gonna keep them there. But the only thing that's gonna keep you before kings and great men is your character. Somebody's calling me again. Yeah,
Live. I'm on a live. Okay. It should pick up Chunky. Okay. I saw that. Yeah, I saw that text come up. I saw that text come across my phone. All righty. Chunky at school or no?
hello. Okay. All right. Well, that was my honey. I just have to edit this part of the video out. And well, before we get started in the randomness, I just uh, wanted to introduce myself to you again. For those who do not know me, I am Apostle Michael Davis Jr., the senior pastor of the New Testament Believers Fellowship Church. Uh, what I'd like for you to do is to first hit that thumbs up button, give us that thumbs up to like us, and then I want you to hit the subscribe, and then hit the little bell, the bell notification, so you would see us every time we come on with a new video. Uh, Shalom. That's right. All right. Bless you. Bless you, Prophet. Come on in. Come on in. Bring the other friends in. That's with you, Prophet. Yes, yes, yes. So uh, glad to see you uh, on here on this old YouTube. Yeah, I know. I be clowning. Yeah, of course, uh, your childhood friends that you grew up with. I've known my prophet friend who's on this live with me years old, and we in our 40s. So you know, we still it's just like, even though we live miles away from each other now, it's we it's like every time we talk, it's like we catch up, like right where we left off. So yeah, man, I tell you, it's just be uh, I see that how a lot of people believe that just because they have a talent, uh, that it's going to keep them before kings and great men, but their character and their attitude is messed up. So when a person's character and attitude is messed up, and I mean, this is just thought, something that makes you say, yeah, make you make you say, make you think about it real quick. So there's this young man that I used to teach a few years back. Yeah, he's a he's a senior right now, and he's excellent football player, but he's real cocky and arrogant. And, his family supposedly had a big name, for most of them all went to the place where I work at. They all were educated there, and they somewhat have to live up to some reputation, and they call themselves legends of that school. But I'm here to serve notice that no matter how good your talent is, if your character is screwed up, God can't work with it. God can't work with you. Because in order for your talent to keep you before kings and great men, God's got to crush your attitude. He got to crush your pride. He got to break you down to Crayola. Got to break you down. Because a lot of us, and we've all been guilty of it, we've all been guilty of where we got heady and high-minded, thought we was all that, a bag of chips, and we was like, yeah, I'm that nigga, I'm that dude, I'm the doom doom, yeah, for all my people, out there in Milltown, they know what I'm talking about, or and my people up in Philly and up in New York know what I'm talking about. The doom doom, yeah. Y'all know what I'm talking about. See ya. But this cat, he's real heady and high-minded. And I mean, I've heard the weirdest thing, and it's just like, wow, this kid gets so much special passes from other people in that building because he's such a good athlete, but he's a lazy student, and he's expecting to go to a D1 college like Alabama, University of Florida, or somewhere big like that. But it ain't gonna happen for him because his character is messed up. In order for you to walk around kings and great men, your character has to be seasoned with grace, and humility has to be a part of the equation, because people that have real discernment will know if you are an arrogant bastard or not right off. You can only fool some of the people some of the time, but those with discernment, you can't fool them none of the time. I remember, an instance that I did where I acted out of character when I was in high school, and I reaped the consequence from it. And to this day, the person that I reaped the consequence from will not speak to me till this day. I had a mentor, who was much older. I looked up to him like, a real big brother, and he was my upper bound counselor. Yeah, he was my upper bound counselor. And then when I was on my way, getting sent off to college, down here at the Fisk University, my mentor went to the store and bought me this Sony boombox. And the Sony boombox, yeah, back then, like, mad expensive. So he went out and spent over $100 on me so I could have a radio in my dorm room. But me, being an arrogant jerk bastard, said, I don't want that radio because it don't have a CD player on it. And it just had tape. This man said, I done went out and spent 100 MF dollars on your MFNA, and you mean to tell me you don't want this radio? I'm gonna take my MF radio back to the store and get my MF money back. And you know what? I felt about this small because I opened my mouth in a moment of arrogance and ungratefulness, and my character had serious flaws in it because I thought I was all that in a bag of chips. Because I was on scholarship to go to Fisk University, and then I had won a whole bunch of other local scholarships, with different organizations in Milwaukee and all of that. And I thought I was a dude. I thought I was that man. I thought I was that dude. I thought I was that nigga. I thought I was a force to be reckoned with. Such pride that I had, such arrogance, and went to college, and then came back, and he worked at the, and he was a professor, and had his own office. And so when I would go up there to the university, I would go up there to go highlight him, and he would just be like, he ain't got no time for me, so like, hurry up and get me out of his office real quick. And then other times I remember I asked him, like right before I was getting married in 2002. I went to him and some of my other mentors and best friend, childhood friends, and say, hey, could you be one of the groomsmen at my wedding? Blase, yada yada yada. And he was like, he quickly said no. Like, hey, I was crushed. And then I was like, well, God, I didn't understand. I didn't understand why that, he dissed me and put me off like that. And the Lord had to remind me. The Lord had to remind me, don't you remember that time when you were 17 years old and you acted out of character and you told him that you didn't want that boom box because it didn't have no CD player, it only had a tape? And I was like, yeah, God, I remember. He said, you just ruined your relationship with this person because of your mouth, because of your arrogance. And, years go past. My mother runs into him at the university, gets his phone number. And this is back in 2010. So I call him up. And be like, yo, hey, how you doing, Dr. So-and-so? Same thing, cold shoulder. Got me off the phone, didn't have no time for me. And I was like, wow. So I just said, you know what, God? I really messed up, and I ruined that because I was being arrogant, and my character had serious flaws, and I let my mouth talk before I was thinking out of my head. And this is why, I'm just saying these are just thoughts. This is just food for thought for any person that's listening. And you be having them hindsight 2020 things. But this right here, what I'm talking about from my experience being transparent, is to help you that's listening to me out there to not have to have the hindsight 2020 of something you gotta apologize and get forgiveness for later because you open your mouth too quick or your attitude was off and you just screwed your whole everything up. So, and I learned a lesson from that. You never know who you be talking to or who you dealing with. So you got to always treat people with dignity and respect and honor. You got to. You got to. Even the kids that I teach every day, I often remind them, I was like, look, you got to know how to talk to people because ain't nobody gonna hire you at their job you don't know how to talk to people. They're not. They're not gonna hire you. They're not gonna hire you with your pants all the way down your butt. And I'm gonna do a video on the history of sagging one of these days, and I hope it to go viral. And those that's listening to me, when I do that video about sagging, I'm gonna have my research all together from the stuff that I even learned in undergrad, when I learned in the 90s about sagging, that I never knew what sagging meant besides the prison life. But I'm gonna go into that one time when I make a video about sagging, and I hope it go viral. And I ask that all of you, when I do that video, y'all help me to make that go viral, because I want to make a statement out there to these young black men, or men period, that's out there walking around with their pants sagging, showing their butt cheeks and everything, because that's just not cool, especially and Latino men. It's not cool. It's not cool. Yeah, but I ruined my relationship with my mentor, who will not talk to me to this day, and I'm just still like, wow, pray, but I make sure, and I tell my students that I teach now, don't make the same mistake that I did. Don't run your mouth in the moment of being petty and angry and arrogant, because it'll have life altering consequences. Because that very person you got smart with and got flip mouth with could have been the one to pay for your whole college career. You know what I'm saying? And it was crazy because it's so funny. I tell my students all the time, you better respect your teachers, because once you leave the four walls of this school, ain't nobody gonna give a crap about you. They're not gonna care about you. They're gonna look at you as a number and gonna be like, 1, 2, 3, next, who's next? It's just your name, your resume is in a stack with a whole bunch of other people. That's just pure randomness. And you have to have the right mentality and the right attitude that's going to set you apart from everybody else. So, this is why I'm just doing this video, just thoughts. And this is the thing, there's this theory out there that I've heard, that they say mothers raise their daughters and baby their sons, or enable their sons. This is the worst thing ever. No man, no red-blooded man, whether you're black, white, Latino, Asian, whatever, blue, purple, green, brown, whatever. If you got a woman that's enabling you, if your mother is enabling you, babying you, you ain't worth 2 plug nickels. You ain't worth horse crap. Because that mentality of men getting babied by their mothers over and over again, it causes a thing to where men won't be responsible, and they look to a woman to do everything for them. And and every time I talk about it in my classroom, these young men, they get mad. I said, no, Bible talks about that every man must work by the sweat of his brow to get his meat. And if we don't work, we don't eat. A man got to be able to, the Bible says a man that won't take care of his own is worse than an infidel. And then of course, they ask me, what's that? What's an infidel? What's that? That's just, and I tell them, that's somebody that absolutely cares about nothing and nobody but themselves, and sometimes not even themselves. It's pretty daggum serious. Wow. Yeah, it's coming down out here. Yes, sir. You right, Prophet. Uh, and you know, it's a lot of these little men, these young men out here. Their mothers enable them and spoil them, and they done pussified. And it's like taboo, so taboo to be a real man out here now these days. You know, these a lot of these little young men in this millennial generation are so feminine acting with their emotions. They act like when it comes to their emotions, and don't can't make rational decisions as men. And from how I've even heard it, that some things they put in that the whole idea of what some of the people in society want, they want to effeminize men, and they don't. That means the population is gonna drop because the men that don't want to be men and take care of stuff, take care of a family or whatnot, and be responsible men to take care of themselves. Uh, well, I have to reconnect with my stream again because I went through a bad area and my stream just cut straight off. I don't know. Uh, it just didn't work out right. Something was going on. I don't know. Well, I see the 34-minute mark, and I wasn't talking that long. My stream cut off, so I hope YouTube I'll get to edit this out. Well, uh, these and I'm going back to what I was saying. I learned a lesson that you never know who you're dealing with, because sometimes the very person who you could be disrespectful and ugly to could be the very person that you would have to meet in the future that would have the key to to unlock your future to what God has for you. So you always got to treat people with dignity and respect, and love people, love on them, love people. Uh, if you love God, love on people, because you never know. We all need each other, sometime, somewhere. Because you always hear people say, "I don't need you. I don't need you." Some we talking crazy. Talking that noise, how we used to say it back in the day. Talking that noise, talking that jibber jabber, or they say talking that raspy. And for all that we know, these are just thoughts. Well, this is kind of all that I have to say for right now. But and we'll chop it up and we'll come back live again. And I'm gonna really do that research on that sagging thing, and I'm gonna really make a hot video on that. And I know it's gonna offend some people and make some people real pissed off. But lastly, I just like for you all to like, subscribe, and share this video. And I love you. I am Apostle Michael Davis Jr., the senior pastor of the New Testament Believers Fellowship Church. Be easy and peace.